just remember, it is what it is. Hey y'all, what's going on? Okay, so today we have another vacant, but I'm going to lead into this one. Actually, we've got not just another vacant, but we've got 5. So I do nowadays, I record most everything, or I have, the GoPro sitting aside just for security safety. Some I do fully, some I only do the very beginning of and don't do the work part of it because, to me it's boring, but sometimes I go ahead and do it, compilate it all into a video and post it here for you guys to watch. So obviously I protect addresses, I protect locations, block out people's faces that show up in the middle of a rekey. And it happens quite frequently because just of the sheer volume we do. So some of the questions that I've had are, the most recent one was, were you sent to this vacant, or did you just go up to a random? No, I didn't just go up to this random house. That's called breaking and entering. These are all sent to us through property managers who buy, sell, or manage properties all around town, even in the surrounding towns. And they have hundreds and hundreds of properties. So, of course, between tenants, they know that they have to get it rekeyed anyway nowadays for liability. If you're a landlord, if you own multiple properties, you need to get your properties rekeyed between every tenant, whether you physically change the locks yourself correctly, I hope, or have a locksmith come do it, which I would recommend. But it's very necessary between tenants to change the locks on houses, and since they handle the volume they do, it's just an expense they factor in. So we get lists and lists of vacant properties gone. Another question, on the more dangerous ones, which we have today, why don't you wait for somebody else to go in with you? Why are you doing this by yourself? Okay, so that is timing. If I have to schedule a time, which I do on some where I've driven through and I don't feel comfortable, but it's just timing. I don't want to be held up by either a meeting, property manager who's handling multiple things, or even one of his agents, unless I feel it's necessary, or if we run into a problem, and then they come immediately as an emergency. But it's mainly timing, and it takes longer. It's like too many questions. It's just easier when you handle the volume that we do. It's just easier to do it. Me go, whatever, if I have a problem. Now, on this one today, this is in a inner Jackson neighborhood, which is predominantly known as, an area where it's not even known as, if you type the street name and crime or shooting or robbery, that pops up. It'll pop up half a dozen times. So, and on the news, there's the streets around those neighborhoods, there's always shootings every night. So, obviously we're not doing this at night. We're doing this, most of the time I do inner city properties first thing in the morning, so that hopefully, the true criminals are out, because a lot of houses get broken into between 9 and 11 in the morning when people are gone. So do that during that time, because if those people happen to live nearby where I'm at, they will not be there. And rainy days are perfect. Sometimes cold days are good. So everything's in my favor this morning. And I record these now out of safety. I'm going to go ahead and we're going to try to do a video. I did one yesterday. I just stopped the recording after I got into the house. Knock, knock. Gonna bust the door. Knock, knock. But as you can see, when you open a property and the door has been kicked in, there could be somebody in there. Another question, has anybody that leads me into yes, I've run into people at least half a dozen times doing this. I've had houses broken into while I was physically rekeying the locks to the house. I actually had a trainee employee with me at the time. Didn't work out after that. But somebody physically broke a window out of the back of the same house we were sitting in the driveway working on. I've had guns pulled on me. I've had to pull guns on people. And it's just a fact of life with the drugs, just simple crime. Not simple, crime's not simple, but the crime. And we are, unfortunately, very understaffed with police. So that's another reason the police are not a private security agency. They get called for an emergency. They don't get called to guard a random locksmith going into a house. That's not how it works, unfortunately. And that's just the facts of inner city locksmithing. And a lot of these houses I go to, there's different levels of guard that guard state that I put myself in. And it's all dependent on the neighborhood. I feel a little bit more comfortable in some, quote, bad areas. Why is everybody tweeting me? I feel a little bit more comfortable in some, quote, bad areas than I do in others. I'm going to go ahead and get prepared to go to this one, and then after that I'm going to knock out at least 2 or 3 others while I can. The first one I'm going on hopefully only has the one door. It may have a back door, and it's actually a duplex, which makes it worse. But anyway, so yeah, I have to change a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and gear up, so join me. Here, let me stop this and start it again, just for my editing sake. Stop right there. I feel like I need to interject. It's been a couple of days since I filmed that, and aside from just downloading the footage and preparing the video, as I was referring to in the earlier video, I don't know where I'm at in the video, but in the last 2 days, there has been 2 shootings. One in an area on a street that was 2 or 3 streets over from one of the properties that I had to go to. And it ended up killing the kid, and the other one was yesterday at 2 p.m. in the afternoon in a fairly traveled area right past where I went yesterday. And it was, I think, at a stoplight, and the guy was just sitting at the stoplight, and somebody pulled up next to him and capped off 7 or 8 rounds, and one hit him in the shoulder. He's okay. From what we've heard, he's okay. No telling whether they knew the person or not, but apparently it was a 39-year-old guy sitting at a stoplight. For all intents and purposes, it was just a random drive-by, which happens every so often. It seems like at least once a year, if not more, we have just random dude that'll drive around, or people that'll drive around shooting. And some people say gang initiation. Some people say just, teenagers out being criminals, and just shooting at things. But yeah, that's what happens. I will post a news article, maybe over here, or whatever, clips from JPD and whatever showing the fact. So it doesn't even have to be Googled, like I mentioned earlier in the video, because again, within the last 2 days of me working on this whole video, there were actually 2 shootings. So I didn't have to Google anything. I just get it from the live news feeds. So again, this video has changed from its original format, so I'm just going to go through a series of openings and urge anybody that is involved with vacant clearing, even the maintenance guys who have to go in also to do things. Hopefully, you get to come after the locksmith has the key so that you can just go in and feel fairly confident that there's nobody in there, because it already has been cleared out. But yes, I just wanted to update this video to show that, yeah, it's some cities, bigger city. We're not a huge city, Jackson, in any means, but it is big, and it's, there's a lot of, quote, rougher areas of Jackson that continuously make news feeds because of shootings. So I'm going to urge everybody who does get involved with vacant, there's a lot of other locksmiths that do this same thing, and they have tales from here to nowhere that, may be exactly the same as mine, maybe totally wilder, totally lamer, you never know. But any locksmith that works in a big city that does rekeys for property managers, they have experienced all of the same things. So anyway, just wanted to let you guys know that you need to be cautious if you're in this trade or in other trades where you have to go into certain areas that are demographically and statistically known as crime-ridden areas. Let's get going with some openings and house clearings.
I know you can't see. It's all right. Nothing major. Knock, knock. Hello? Landlord? Hello? There it goes. Okay, clear. Beep. 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 Beep, beep. It's talking back to me. Alright, clear. Looks like we got 3 doors plus storage room.
Sorry, I had to do it. So, the other one question that might come up is, have you ever found stolen stuff in a house? Yes, many times. And Most of the time we just submit it with the invoice. We notify the property manager, whoever it is, that, you know, we found something in there. They may want to send somebody over ASAP, and it's up to them as to what to do with it, or file it with the police or whatever. And in one case, many years ago, and it was interesting, I found when I went in the house, there were two or three or four keys to a dealership, two cars from a dealership with the tags still on them. And I knew it was out of place, so I called the dealership and asked them if, you know, they had stolen cars, and they were like, yeah, let's put you in touch with the lead investigator. So the lead investigator called us, got in touch with us, sent a crew out to that house, and the agency that responded was not from the same county, so they're not quite as familiar with these types of properties. And the lead investigator ended up coming over to our shop and talking to me for a while. We got to be pretty good friends. He still calls us now to this day whenever they have issues arise where we could assist them with something. So it turned out to be, you know, mutually beneficial for both of us. But it was funny because he was just like, where he was just kind of shocked about the area and the conditions of the houses, and he's like, you go there, you know, doing this stuff? And I'm like, yeah. He goes, how many people are with you? And he's like, we had 8 officers with us. So it's kind of humorous that people from not in one area, they just don't, you know, understand. A lot of you guys have seen some of my videos, so you kind of get the gist of it if you don't do it personally. Other guys who watch my videos who are in bigger cities who do this know exactly what it's about. So yeah, we've found stolen stuff. That's, you know, pretty common in these houses. But anyway, I just wanted to wrap it up, and again, mention that, you know, everybody watch your back out there if you're doing jobs anywhere. It could be even in, you know, great parts of town, gated subdivisions, anything can go down. So no matter where you are, no matter what you're doing, always have, you know, the eye looking out behind you. Be very alert, stay safe, and if you encounter any dangerous situations, just get away as fast as you can is what I would recommend. And yeah, thanks for watching, guys. I'm sure there will be many comments on this video, but if you have any questions that I forgot to go over in the video itself, be sure and leave them in the comment section. So thanks for watching, guys. Y'all have a great one, and we will catch you next video.